Hello, everybody. Welcome to IST 140. I'm, of course, Professor S. Let's do this thing. Anyways, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about quizzes. We're going to talk about the programs. And then I'm going to go through something, walk through something with you that will hopefully help you with those programs. Okay. We're going to begin talking about quizzes. Now, remember, quizzes kind of are broken up into two different parts. We have the concept quizzes and we have the programming quizzes. For this module, you have both a concept quiz and a programming quiz. You'll have 50 minutes to do both of them. You got to use Unlock for both of them. The concept you do at home, the programming you do in class on that designated Wednesday. You have the time period, the class time period to do it. You'll be able to use IntelliJ. But the thing is like you don't have to write the whole program. You can if you want. I'm not necessarily saying that's going to help you or hurt you, but what we're specifically looking for is the snippet. So like the part of the code that answers the question, that's what we're looking for. For the scanner import, we don't need to see it in your submissions, at least not yet. If we do, we'll say it explicitly. And really, if you have any questions about like what should be included or what shouldn't on the quiz, like you can ask during that time. But I mean, because the worst that we can say is, sorry, we can't help you. Okay. All right. Anyways, I think that's good for the quizzes. All right. For the programs, the one that I want to talk to you about the most, I feel like this is kind of one of the weirdest ones. So this is in the Xylabs. This is count characters, Sylvester modified. For this, what you're doing is you're prompting the user for a character and a string, and then you're counting how many times that string comes up, or how much that character appears in that string. And Xylabs is very particular about what it's looking for, and I feel like it's like particular about things that don't matter as much. So what I did was I gave you the snippet of code that would help with the reading the lines. So just make sure you use that correctly. Make sure you use the scanner object that you used. Clearly mine is in. But other than that, you want to use pretty much that exact same code. Okay. Make sure you read the directions too. I mean, the idea is it's like you count how many it appears. And so you do that number or results, the number, and then the character. And then it's apostrophe S if it's not one. Otherwise, it's just that character. Okay. So the two examples are over there that you can see. All right. Anyways, let's go into IntelliJ. And what we're going to do is kind of think about the data validation. That's what we're going to talk about. All right, let's go into IntelliJ. All right, clearly I'm in IntelliJ. So what we're going to do is first let's kind of like the idea is data validation. We've kind of done data validation before. Let me create my main method. And we're going to be using scanner. So import java.util.scanner. All right. So anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to read a number. We're going to what we're going to do is like create scanner object. All right, we're going to continue reading a double until a non-double is typed, and then we're going to print the double. And we're going to so when we create the object, so first let's create our scanner object. Scanner in equals new scanner system.in. All right. And so the idea is that we're reading a double. So we'll create it out here. We'll call it num. Start it with 0.0. And the idea is that we continue to read that number and replace it until a non-number is entered, and then we print the number. Okay, so this is the number we're printing. So system out println num. All right. And so we do while in dot has next int, and we covered this before last week with the in dot has next, and so we were adding it to the sum. So make sure you go, if you don't remember that, go back the old videos. So while this is this, so we do num equals in dot next double. So it will just continue. So while we continue, or not an int, this, we want this to be a double. While we keep entering in a double, it the loop continues, and every time that we do, we replace num with the double, and we keep on going. Let me show you how this works. Do it. All right, so it's reading, and so I'm gonna do like 4.5 or 2.3 or t. And so remember, once it gets something that's not a double, it ends and it prints that value. And notice that 2.3 was the last double that I entered before I entered that t, and so that's what printed, right? All right, so anyways, so this is good for while this double is entered, but what if we want to do it so that it continues asking until a double is created? So in this case, we want this this while loop while a double is not being typed in, and then when it does, we want it to store the num. So what we could do is, if we tried doing this, does this work? All right, so it's looking for a thing. So if I do like k, it does this weird thing. All right, well, what if I typed in a double? So 3.2, it just prints 0.0. So this is all out wrong, right? It's not like, if the idea is if I enter in a letter, it should prompt me again to see like what's the value of it should be asking it again. Let me like say enter in a double. All right, so here we run this, and it's right here. We don't have that prompt right now. Probably, actually, you know what? It's probably better if we do a do while loop. Let's give that a try. So enter in a double, so I'm going to do 3.4. And now it's, all right, 3.4. Well, that worked. But notice, let's say enter in a double, so I do t, it doesn't work. And if I do h, it doesn't work, right? It's supposed to continue prompting until I enter in a double. Okay. So really, we can still keep this as a while loop. The idea is like we can't use the scanner method for it. So actually, before we get into this, let's say like, let's just do a normal if statement. So if in dot has next double, so if this is true, like if I enter in a double, that's when we want to say that num equals in dot next double. Boom. Here I'm going to do the system out. All right, so enter in a double. Let's see what happens here. So enter in a double. If I do 4.5, then it prints 4.5. And if I enter in, I don't know, L, it prints 0.0. So this is kind of like a good starting spot. The idea is that notice that it doesn't crash. That's kind of a big deal. That's something that we don't want. So to crash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, all right, let's put this in a while loop. Okay, so while true, do this. Now, notice that with this while loop, it will always be true. So we need something to end it. And so the way that we're going to end it is if we do break, right? Because the idea is once we get that double, we want to end it. And so remember break from the switch statements? Break breaks the loop. It says, all right, get out of this loop. Okay. So let's give this a try. So actually, you know what? Actually, I'm going to end it. I want, like, it's going to just keep on. I want this to be inside this loop is what I want. There we go. Because I still want it to enter in a double. So anyways, if I do, let's see, 3.4, notice that it stored that 3.4 to num, and then it broke, and then it printed that thing. So it broke out of the loop. That's what we're breaking. Let's enter in H. And then, oh my gosh, look at this. It's like continually going on and on forever. So we need to have something that it, like a contingency, like so this is like if a double is entered, but what if a double's not entered? And so that's what our else statement is. And so in this else statement, what we can do is, I don't know another way to kind of guide you to this answer, but if we just do in.next, think about what we're doing here, right? So we broke out and like so if this is satisfied, this is not satisfied. So whatever this is, it's not a double, right? So with the next, we allow the string, so it will read anything. And so it's reading it, but notice we're not storing it to a variable. I mean, we could store it to a variable that we don't use, but that's confusing. What we want to do is just do it, just doing it. And so it will read it and it just will be done from there. So here, notice what happens when we run it. So enter in a double. So if I do 4.5, it prints it off and it's done. And notice also what happens if I do J. Looks for an integer. Let's do 2.3. And so notice that it keeps on going until that double is entered. So anyways, this is one way that you can do this so that you continually prompting the user for a value until that correct one is done. There is another way to do it with a try-catch block. We haven't gone over try-catch blocks, but I don't want you to use try-catch blocks. If you use them, you'll get points taken off. This is what we're looking for, okay? I mean, there's other ways, other loops, that's fine, but don't, if you see a try or catch, we're going to take points off, okay? Anyways, I think that is good for today. Hopefully that makes sense. We'll see you all later. Bye. Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please press the like button below. It lets me know I'm doing something right. If you have any questions about any of the content, please send a message to both me and the rest of the teaching team in Canvas, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Don't send it through normal email. You will not get as fast response. If you have any suggestions for how I can make these videos better, please leave in the comments below. Don't forget to roundhouse kick the subscribe button and ring the bell to get notified for the next video. Anyways, I think that's good for now. See y'all later. Bye.